Welcome to Cincinnati. Along with Al Raboski and Jim Hayes, I'm Dan McLaughlin. The Cardinals looking for a sweep and trying to pick up a 4-game sweep and do it on the road. It's so hard just to sweep anyway, but to do it on the road, that's quite a feat.
It really is. And of course, the Cardinals have been playing their best baseball on the road, where they are 6-3. Let's complete the sweep, get out of here, and then who knows how much baseball you're going to have in Chicago with the cold weather north of here.
Their ball game today was already canceled. There's been 6 cancellations thus far throughout the game. 8 or more game win streaks at Cincinnati. The Cardinals right now 8. As a matter of fact, overall they have beaten the Reds 10 of the last 11 going back to last season. And it's been the offense that's really stood out. Solid pitching, but you think about the offense, they have outscored the Reds in the first 3 games 24-8.
Yeah, averaging 8 runs per game. Do that, you should be winning them. But it's nice also to see that good pitching, because we've gotten 3 wins from our 3 starters in this series.
Homer Bailey will face this lineup on Jackie Robinson Day. Dexter Fowler, Tommy Pham, and Matt Carpenter. There's those in this lineup with really good numbers against the Reds righty. Then Martinez, Molina, Garcia, Bader, Wong, and Martinez. As a matter of fact, the Cardinals lineup today, a combined .459 average against Homer Bailey. And an on-base percentage of an even .500. Homer Bailey, 6'4", 230-pound right-hander. He's pitched parts of 11 years with the Cincinnati Reds. He is 0-2. Last start, he took a no-hitter into the 6th. He's done that a couple of times already in his career with no-hitters. And this being his 24th start all-time against the St. Louis Cardinals. There's a look at his Hyundai pitch arsenal.
The Cardinals have had a lot of success against him, as you see those numbers. The split finger is something that the left-handed batters are going to have to be aware of, the slider for the righties. Doesn't throw as hard as he used to, but at least in the start in Philadelphia, he kept it out of the middle of the plate.
Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers around the horn. The defense for the Reds this afternoon. Duvall, Hamilton, and Urban in the outfield. Blandino, Peraza, Jeanette Advato on the infield, and Tucker Barnhart, Gold Glove winner behind the plate. Dexter Fowler wearing a special cleat, the 42 shoes, to honor Jackie Robinson. He hit his 2nd home run of the year on Friday, and that was his 700th career run scored. Cardinals have hit a bunch of home runs in this series, and so far to start this year, they lead the National League with a total of 23. The pitch is skied into left. Adam Duvall under it and makes the catch for the first out. It's a chilly afternoon, a lot of rain in the forecast. Certainly a lot of rain earlier today. The delay of 2 hours and 36 minutes, and it's 53 degrees.
Yeah, it was about mid-60s this morning. Going to be on a slow decline, and they're expecting snow here in Cincinnati tomorrow.
Tommy Pham has scored a run in 6 straight games. Going back to the finale of the homestand, the last 4 games, he's 9 for 16. He was in the leadoff spot yesterday. Those 6 consecutive games with a run scored, that ties his career best. And currently the longest active in the National League.
You know, several of the Cardinal hitters are having tremendous series. Just complete that.
The 1-1 pitch. As you might imagine, with the long rain delay and cool temperatures, rain in the forecast, not much of a crowd here at the Great American Ballpark. The 1-2 pitch to Tommy Pham. Line to third for out number 2. 219 starting pitchers have made at least 20 starts against the Cardinals in their career. Homer Bailey has the third worst ERA of those starters. And a lot of that damage done by Matt Carpenter. Great numbers, 18 for 33 against Homer Bailey. That's a .545 average.
You would have thought he would have hit a home run against him with those 18 hits, but that's not the case.
So what? 18 for 33.
No,
He'll take that.
I know. I mean, just.
He has had his number. 0-2. Sure, it's not an easy day out for the pitchers. Have to sit around, wait, figure out when that start is going to happen. Routine is, well, it has to be adjusted a bit.
I think that's the biggest thing, is adjusting their normal routine, creatures of habit.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
I know the reports, Mike Matheny just kept on telling everyone that we're going to play this game. We're going to play this game. You don't want your team to start relaxing and look, mentally shut down, and then all of a sudden find themselves in the middle of a game. So best, even if it was going to be rained out, to tell them they're going to play.
And a swing and a miss. A strikeout of Carpenter. The Redbirds go in order. Carlos Martinez. The Cardinals trying to pick up a sweep. Takes to the mound when we come back. Is under 2.5. Can be dominating at times, and we'll see if he is here today. This will be the lineup that he'll face with Hamilton, Peraza, and Votto. Jeanette, Duvall, Barnhart, Blandino, Irvin, and the pitcher Bailey.
And it's starting to rain.
Almost looks like snow. It's a
Yes.
mist.
Yes, it does.
Here's Billy Hamilton showing bunt. Well, you get the idea that the grounds crew will be very busy today with the infield, certainly the mound. You can understand why teams in Major League Baseball, Al, they want to get the game in. You know, with all the cancellations happening around baseball, there's going to be a ton of makeups and doubleheaders in the summer. The 2-0 pitch. But the main thing is they've got a lot invested with these players out there on the field. You don't want to get anybody hurt.
No, remember a few years ago we were playing in Chicago.
Eli Marrero,
right. Broke his ankle in a game that wasn't played because they started it in horrible conditions. Broke his ankle, but it didn't become an official game, got canceled. And here he gets that serious injury.
The 2-2 swung on and missed. The strikeout for Martinez. The Hyundai pitch arsenal for Carlos Martinez. What it'll show you is there at the very bottom right. The cutter and his usage. Using that a lot more as opposed to the first start against the Mets and what he's done in the last 2.
Oh, it's tough to see a ball when it gets up in the air here. But, you know, the cutter is a pitch that he learned in spring training. And Adam Wainwright was talking to him, said, you know, you ought to come over here and mess around a little bit with your grips on your fastball. And taught him that cutter, and he's really incorporated, cut down on his fastballs, and now throwing more cutters and talking about his new toy.
The game now in the hands of the umpires is to call it, to stop it, suspend it. It's way outside. And you are exactly right, Al. It is going to be tough, I would think, for outfielders with just routine fly balls. It's a real thick rain. It's light but thick, if that makes sense.
And you know the umpires are trying to do everything they can to get this game along, but also to protect the players. It's a tough juggling act.
I'm sure they've been told that if rain did come through, it would be quick, get through the area. It's lined into right and a base hit. Jose Peraza on his way to second. And a 1-out double. Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks.
It's not a nice series. He's 4 for 9 with this being his third double. Pitch away, but it's up a little bit. Pretty hard to defense that one. Goes all the way to the bullpen area, and there's a 1-out double. His third of the series. He's gotten healthy with the Cardinal pitchers.
It's the first time in 14 games yesterday that the Cardinals did not see Joey Votto get on base. One hit shy of 1,600.
Showed that left-handed hitters only batting 190 off of Martinez, and he's been able to, in his career, to contain Joey Votto, just 3 for 19.
That would be that cutter, don't you think, that could neutralize a lefty?
Yep, that's what they do. You throw it in on the hands of the lefty.
He's always been good against right-handed batters with just a devastating slider, but this neutralizes the lefties with the cutter.
He's had the 2 and the 4-seam fastballs, but it gives him another look.
Here's a 1-1. Votto is 2 walks shy of 1,000 for his career. Only active players with 1,000 walks: Albert Pujols and Miguel Cabrera. The 2-1 pitch.
It's probably a cutter right there. When you throw a good one, you get good results. When you throw a bad one, it just sits right there for hitters. Just kind of flattens out.
And a 3-1 pitch to Votto. Missed down and in. Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers around the horn. The Cardinals defensively today. Bader in left. Ozuna has the day off. Pham in center. Fowler in right. Carpenter, Greg Garcia, Colton Wong, and Jose Martinez. DeYoung sits today, and Yadier Molina is behind the plate.
You know, that last pitch, it is Joey Votto, but you know, in the conditions, and of course, it really has, rain has lessened up and really all of a sudden much brighter here. But you got to call those pitches strikes.
There's Scooter Gennett. 27 home runs last year. The previous high was 14 for a guy that was supposed to be just a bench player a season ago. That's ripped, but foul. Ground ball rate, always something we talk about with Martinez. Our Kia drive to success. Would love the ground ball here in a double play. 57.1% for Carlos Martinez. Seems to always be in the top 5, top 10 in that category.
And he gets his fair share of double play balls too.
There's your ground ball, backhanded by Martinez. Out there, back to first. Not in time.
See Martinez getting more and more comfortable making that throw. Field a ground ball and throwing it to second. A little backhand on the run, throws it there, and
it brings in Duvall, hitting 130. 3 for his last 29. Runners at first and third. Duvall has been so good. Consider this. He's trying to join Frank Robinson as the only players in the history of the Reds, well over 100 years of baseball, to have at least 70 extra base hits in 3 straight years. He has been really good after coming over from San Francisco. Nothing in 2. Martinez has allowed just 1 run in his last 14 2/3, covering his last 2 starts. Homer Bailey starts this year. The Reds have scored a total of 3 runs in 3 games.
Hope that continues.
That time Cole. Remember, in the last start for Martinez, it was a 1-out solo home run in the first, then blanked the Brewers over his final 5 2/3. Really settled in. That at times was an issue last year. First innings, and then he'd go ahead and just dominate the opposition.
And they've done a lot of things to try and correct that. You know, having the first inning problems. Try to go down and warm up a little longer, simulate like you're throwing that first inning down there and acting like it's the second inning when you take the mound. But makes a good pitch. You should get out of this one.
The 0-2. Ground ball. Garcia backhands. Long stretches. What a play. They get the man at second base and no damage done. What a series for Greg Garcia this far. With 4 extra base hits, he'll lead it off for the Cardinals. Mentioned earlier the struggles of Homer Bailey against the Cardinals and the high ERA of 5.86.
6-13 lifetime against the Cardinals.
Jose comes in hitting .373, tops in the National League.
How about that?
Well, Al, if you do the numbers, he's now played today game number 134 as a Cardinal that he's played in. His average is .324.
Remember, he hit .500 as a pinch hitter a year ago.
One ball and 1 strike. Chris Sabo throughout the ceremonial first pitch. It's hard to believe it's 30 years ago he was the Rookie of the Year. 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Spent a little time in St. Louis at the very tail end of his career.
He was an intense competitor.
It was right around the time that the Cardinals tried out Fernando Valenzuela. Bob Horner at one point. Chris Sabo. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well hit down the right field line, but out of play.
I was just thinking, Dan, when you say Sabo and Bob Horner, contrasting
Bodies.
bodies and baseball attitudes too.
You were a teammate of Bob Horner's in Atlanta.
He could hit, but I mean, he'd walk out and bang brains. You know, there's a cloud there. You think it's going to rain? We could have a rain out. He never wanted to take batting practice. You'd think he'd want to mash the way he could hit. And when we got him, was, you know, his shoulder was really injured.
Spoiled again.
Or when he got to St. Louis. He was a fun teammate. After the games, he knew all about having fun.
You were right there with him.
Of course. Had to teach him some of it.
A swing and a miss. Second strikeout for Bailey. And it brings in Molina.
Just watching Bailey in this game, he's doing something that he did last time out, and he pitched very well in Philadelphia, is keeping balls out of the middle of the plate. You know, working the corners, doesn't throw as hard as he used to.
First pitch to Yadier Molina, base hit into center field. Mentioned that Yadi made a little history here yesterday. And Johnny Bench congratulating Yadier Molina on passing him on the all-time innings caught list. Soon to be games. Funny that he mentioned, no wonder I had my hips replaced. Nice tweet by Johnny Bench to Yadier Molina.
You know, that getting to know a lot of catchers that are having their hips replaced. You can understand the knees, but the hips on top of it now is kind of a byproduct of playing that position.
Here's Greg Garcia. 3 for 4 yesterday, 2 homers, a double. It drove in 3 in both home runs against a lefty, Brandon Finnegan. He had never in the big leagues homered against a left-handed pitcher. And yesterday he did it twice.
Finnegan said that was the only 2 bad pitches he made all day yesterday. What did he throw? 90 plus pitches in 4 1/3 innings. But those were the only 2 that were bad.
He was making a season debut yesterday after dealing with a bicep issue. No balls, 2 strikes. Greg Garcia. Little chopper hit to Votto. The Gold Glover fires a strike to second. And not in time with Bailey at first.
Some of the infielders are been able to have a sure grip throwing a ball with all the water that this field has seen today.
I don't know if you noticed, but when Molina hit that ball into center field, the water skipping, the ball skipping off the playing surface. It is wet.
They covered the infield, but you know, just can't put a tarp over the entire field, so they rarely worry about the outfield. And these new fields have a great drainage system.
Harrison Bader is start number 4 today. He's in left with Ozuna in a hitting streak that came to a close yesterday, so he gets the day off. And a high fly ball lifted out to deep right. Irvin back, and it is gone. 2-run homer. Harrison Bader in his first of the year. The Cardinals now have hit 24 home runs this season.
So important for the Cardinals to jump out and take an early lead. The Reds have the worst record in baseball right now. They're just kind of got a couple key offensive cogs that are out of the lineup on the DL, and jump ahead of them, and you know they're going to start sinking even further. So pile on.
24 home runs, 5th highest home run total in Cardinals history through 15 games. The 2000 Cardinals had 36.
I saw that.
Man. Kubota power stats, and the Cardinals on the road have done a lot of damage. A 2-run shot by Harrison Bader, first home run and his first 2 RBI of the year. The ball down and in to Colton Wong. He's been on base 10 times in his last 7 games.
Got good numbers against Bailey also.
The 2-1 pitch. Fly ball. Out to right near the line. Philip Irvin is over and makes the catch. Harrison Bader with 2 outs. 2-run homer. 2-0 St. Louis.
Yeah, Dan, I had a chance to talk with Dexter Fowler about Jackie Robinson Day and what it means to him to be able to wear number 42. He told me this: honoring Jackie is something I never take lightly. If Jackie hadn't done what he did, and it took a special individual to do that, we might not be here playing. Fowler says he'd like to see more African-American kids playing baseball. He says Major League Baseball's outreach to urban communities hasn't made a huge impact, but Fowler says it is a step in the right direction. Dan?
Batted second, played first that day for the Dodgers, 1947. It was their opener on April 15th against the Braves in Brooklyn. The pitch taken high.
With all the problems with concussions in football, hopefully we'll get more young kids to play the game of baseball in the inner cities. Major League Baseball's been trying for years to have that. We have the Cardinal rookies and Redbird rookies in St. Louis, but they're reviving baseball in the inner city. The RBI League's been around for a long time.
And one of those picks was a big one with Cincinnati. That was Connor Green, number 2 overall, and he was alumnus of the reviving baseball in inner cities RBI program.
Yeah, Hunter Green was number 2 in the country. He was pitcher that throws 100 miles an hour, high school kid, 100 miles an hour, and plays shortstop. Big kid too, 6'4", 2 plus.
That's walk number 2 for Martinez. Let's turn to our Toyota keys to the game.
Well, we want to complete the sweep. You won the first 3. You can't be happy unless you complete this sweep. And also for when Homer Bailey's on the mound, the lefties need to be aware of that split finger. As I said, he doesn't throw as hard as he used to, but he's had better command, keeping the ball out of the middle of the plate, and then he likes to throw the splitter to the secondary pitch to the lefties.
And there's a strike. Landino at third base today. Suarez hurt. And the Reds' third baseman in that time, since he's gone out with injury, 1 for 25 with 3 errors.
Goslin, Pennington, Landino.
Good slider, 0-2. Jackie Robinson in that initial year of 1947 played 23 games against the Cardinals. Hit .309, on base percentage .381, and saved the best for last. Brooklyn was up by 4.5 games going into a crucial series mid-September against the Cardinals. He hit .462 in that series. Brooklyn swept St. Louis, and that was all she wrote. Landino flies out to center. So we celebrate 42, number 42 today, Jackie Robinson Day. As he broke Major League Baseball's color barrier. This date, 1947, 6 World Series appearances, Rookie of the Year, MVP, batting champion. Won in 1955 the World Series, and many forget he was a decorated athlete at UCLA. Football, basketball, track, and baseball when they still had varsity sports. That's what they called him at the college level, but he lettered in all of those sports.
And he also was a Army officer.
And played in the Negro Leagues for the Kansas City Monarchs. Here's Philip Irvin.
There's no doubt he was such a special player, but he was not the best player in the Negro Leagues. But when you put the whole combination of his personality and how mentally tough he was the right man for the Dodgers to pick.
And 2 strikes on Irvin. Tom Alston was the first African-American player in Cardinals history, and that was in 1954. There were some with the Cardinals that balked at the idea of playing against Jackie Robinson and other African-American players. And Red Schoendienst and Stan the Man stood up in the clubhouse and said, no, you will play. That's line foul off the screen that extends down the dugout.
And that might have saved somebody.
I think this is one of the most important games to play every year in baseball. And I say that because there are little kids right now that have no idea that African-American players were not allowed to play the game of baseball and what they went through in their lives. And if this game brings attention to the fact that maybe some kid gets on a computer and reads about Jackie Robinson and understands the importance of what he went through both on and off the field, then it's worth doing it. If one kid does it. But this is a very, very important day in baseball. And it's not just baseball, it's the social issues, it's seeing what so many of those folks went through. A ridiculous time in our country. Terrible things were happening. And if this brings light to that, then we should do this every single time, and I hope baseball continues it. It sounds like they will.
Oh, they definitely will. And they did have a little uptick in African-American players representing in baseball at the major league level this year.
The strikeout back-to-back Irvin and Bailey. 2-0 Cardinals. Opening day rosters, the 25-man rosters, 8.4% major league players are African American. Highest percentage on opening day over the last 6 seasons, so slight uptick. Carlos Martinez will lead it off, followed by Dexter Fowler and Tommy Pham. Carlos hitting .286 and looks at a pitch inside. Keith Brooks runs the Cardinals Care Outreach Program Redbird Rookies that Al mentioned earlier. And there were about 5,000 kids that participated in that baseball league. So when you hear about the Cardinals and they build a field and a player's name or an ex-player's name goes atop of that, it's a major investment by the club. And usually a financial contribution from the player. And many of the teams in the Redbird Rookies program participate on those fields. And I've been to some of those openings where you're not in the nicest of neighborhoods. You know, all of a sudden you roll up to the field and it's pristine, it's beautiful. The 2-1 pitch.
And part of the agreement is, you know, the Cardinals and the players build those, and then hopefully the community will maintain them and make it so special for those kids to have an opportunity to play on those fields.
Here's a 3-1 pitch. And a strike to Martinez, 3-2. And if a kid gets involved in the program, it's not just about playing baseball, but they have mentoring program. They help many kids on the medical side, just trying to take care of themselves, education and arts. It's really a neat thing that they do. Download the app, play for free, start your streak for a chance at $5.6 million. Download Beat the Streak today. Third strikeout for Homer Bailey. It's been on base 6 times in 11 plate appearances thus far in the series. Fly to left his first time up. Ouch.
Now he's probably happy he's got those high tops. See if it hits the front leg and watch there. Yeah, right on the foot. Cold weather makes it all the worse.
One ball and one strike on Dexter Fowler. Last year he opened up Dexter Fowler Field.
In Decatur, Illinois.
Yes, sir. The 1-1. It was a good choice because a lot of Cardinal fans there, obviously, but his time with the Cubs, there are some Cub fans in that territory, so put his name on that field. Major financial contribution.
Bill Madlock is from there.
Little check swing, and Dexter slow out of the box, and the stretch by Votto to get him. See, he's limping just a bit going down the line.
You can see why he didn't get out. He kind of tried to hold up a swing but made contact. Landino throw a little offline, sailed on him a little bit. He was rushing his throw. But Joey Votto's pretty good over there, like you said.
And Fowler still limping very slowly back to the dugout, and that's why we have a little bit of a stoppage in play. So with 2 outs, it's Tommy Pham lined out to third, his first time up. I would advise anybody, if you have a chance to go to see the Cardinals in Kansas City, to take in the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. It is fantastic. Bob Kendrick runs it. And you could just say one name to him. You could say Jackie Robinson, Josh Gibson, Satchel Paige, and he'll give you 10 minutes, eloquent, beautifully spoken, to tell you about not only what they did in the Negro Leagues, but their impact in society. It is worth making that trip. That's lined into center, and Pham has 2 hard hit balls, but nothing to show for it. A sliding catch by Billy Hamilton. 2-0 midway through 3. Here's at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. A strike to Billy Hamilton. Underway here in the bottom of the third. 2-0 our score. Puts it on the ground. Martinez to the bag and the out.
You notice how Carlos Martinez just really looks like he's not using maximum effort at all. I mean, really just kind of just spotting the ball a little bit, playing catch, hitting the spots, changing speeds, but really not exerting much effort.
Only time I notice when I think it's maybe a little extra, so he's reaching back for a little extra, and he'll fall off towards the first base side.
And that's
by design.
And we have not seen that at all.
Yeah.
I mean, he's more times than not, he's like that, just a pirouette, balancing on one leg, not falling off to the side. I mean, he falls dramatically to first base is when he's out of control.
The 2-0 pitch to Jose Peraza. Doubled into the corner in right. Pretty amazing. Martinez has gone at least 5 innings in 60 consecutive starts. Second longest streak in baseball to Madison Bumgarner. There's a strike. 3-1.
Today's game, that is a telling stat.
Really is. Ooh, he just missed. That'll be walk number 3. Take a break from the books and head to the ballpark. College night Tuesday, May 1st. Fans who purchase a special theme ticket receive a throwback Cardinals t-shirt designed by STL Style. Tickets are just $20. Get yours at cardinals.com/theme.
That's a good looking t-shirt. Don't want to walk anybody in front of Votto.
It's thrown away. Wong may have a play. Well, he's not going to throw. Couldn't get it out of the glove. Cardinal pitchers, that's their second error. The other one on Michaelis, this one on Carlos Martinez.
We saw Carlos last year make several errors, bad throws, trying to do too much. And here's what he's talking about. It looked like Colton was going to be able to pick it up, maybe sling it to second base, but just couldn't. In the damp ground, just couldn't hold on to it.
So 1 out. Strike 1 on Votto. Last year he said, I'm going to cut down on my strikeouts. He went from 19.4 to 11.7 strikeout rate. And he said, I'm going to hit more home runs, and he did that. On base percentage of .454 a season ago. The 0-1. And folks asked him, why do you want to hit more home runs? He said, well, this is where the game's going. Everybody's talking about launch angle, getting the ball in the air, beating the shift. So at age 33, he just decided to change it up. He had an MVP type year. That strike zone on that side of the plate not being called.
You know, I've always thought Alan Porter had a pretty good strike zone, but umpires sit over the inside shoulder of the catcher, and so the pitch that they see so clearly, the one inside pitch, is the one they miss a lot, and then they guess on the outside corner.
The 2-1 pitch to Votto. Votto has finished in the top 7, the MVP vote 6 times, and was just a couple of votes shy of winning it a year ago. It went to Giancarlo Stanton.
Now that's the amazing thing. 2 votes off of Stanton, who hit, you know, all the home runs he hit and everything. Votto in a last place club almost took that honor.
The 2-2. Tied him up, struck him out. And strikeout number 4 for Martinez.
Well, Joey Votto's had his problems with Martinez and really ties him up with that pitch inside. He's just 3 for 20 against Carlos.
Jeanette grounded into a fielder's choice. 0 for 1. And there's strike 1. Reach base safely in 12 straight. Oh, 2. Boy, Yachty gets down and frames that beautifully. He has done that, I think, more and more this year early on than we've seen.
It's quite evident that one game at home.
It was a week ago against Arizona.
Against Arizona.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. Hit out of play. Long look by Martinez. And Yachty looked into Mike Matheny to see if he could go out and visit. And Mike said, yeah, he gave him a little head nod, and this will be a mound visit. But that's something that you have to do now. You think about it, Molina, you know, he used to love going out there to talk to a pitcher, and he just wanted to make sure he was all right to do that. Make sure they get on the same page. Maybe some of this due to the fact there's a runner at second base, changing signs.
Possibly, but I think it was just mere fact that Yachty was not in agreement with what Carlos wanted to throw. And
that gets away. So Peraza has gone to second on an error and now to third. It's a wild pitch charge to Martinez.
It was right through the legs of Yachty. Now you get the hitter, and that runner will still be stranded.
The 1-2 pitch to Jeanette. That'll be a foul ball. Almost like he picked that off the ground, which a batter is entitled to do. If it bounced and he hit it, yeah, that ball's in play. He immediately called that foul without it being touched.
I didn't understand that either. You know, it was going foul, but he called it
right away.
Right away, as you said.
Here's a 1-2 and the strikeout. That's 5 in 3 innings for Carlos Martinez. We are through 3. Harrison Bader with a 2-run homer, the difference. His warm-up tosses getting set for the 4th. Grounds crew is going to be busy today. Bailey will have Carpenter, Martinez, and Molina. A 2-run homer by Harrison Bader in the 2nd, the difference thus far. Want to buy or sell tickets at the last minute? Get the StubHub app, where you can grab 100% MLB verified tickets until the first pitch, or sell your extras to another fan. Get the StubHub app today, an official partner of the Cardinals.
Amazing how much better the mounds are today. Used to have 3 or 4, 5 different relievers out there, and all have different holes, their landing area.
And a pitcher can request that the grounds crew come out and adjust the mound, put the drying agent down, fill holes in this type of weather. Into the shift. That's Scooter Jeanette, and Carpenter is 0 for 2. Jose Martinez struck out first time up. He might be the National League Player of the Week. We'll find out tomorrow. Ozzie Albies hit .435 this week. Paul Goldschmidt left St. Louis, popped 3 home runs, drove in 7. He'd be a candidate. And so with this guy, Jose Martinez. On the ground to short, Peraza. 2 away. The BJC Healthcare difference maker, Yadier Molina, on Jackie Robinson Day.
He's got a couple things going for him. Success on Jackie Robinson Day, success in this ballpark.
He's a .318 career hitter at this ballpark at the start of play. He has a base hit to center, 1 for 1. That's out of play. It's getting cold enough too, where I'm sure the umpires have advised the pitchers that if they go to their mouth, lick the fingers And as long as they rub the pant leg, they would be allowed to do that. It's getting fairly cold.
As part of the speed up rules a couple years ago, they changed that to where you can do it every day. You can do it anytime you go to your mount on the mound, as long as you wipe off. Where before you had to step off the mound to do so.
Nothing in 2 the count on Yadier Molina.
Still can't use sandpaper or nail files.
Pine tar.
Pine tar.
There's been a lot of talk that they think
Vaseline.
Pitchers should be able to use pine tar. But
Yeah.
somebody could get hurt if a pitcher doesn't have a good grip on the ball. Cardinals go in order, and it's 2-0 St. Louis.
He got to experience, Greg did, the Cardinals' new home run celebration, conga line twice yesterday. After the game, Greg told me, that thing's great. But how did it start and who started it? After a little hashtag journalism, I found out, started by Francisco Pena after Marcell Ozuna's home run in the first game of this series. Pena told me it's just something that happened naturally. We weren't trying to come up with anything different. We were just having fun. Mike Matheny says he's fine with the conga line. He told me they're just having some fun supporting their teammates. If I felt like there was something disrespectful to it, I would have stepped in. But Dan, my guess is you won't see Mike joining that conga line anytime soon.
Yeah, have they ever tried to just push him in it?
He said at one time he thought they were going to grab him, but they didn't.
That's ripped out to left, and Bader misread it over his head. And Duvall on his way to second base.
He definitely misread it, but I don't think he would have caught it. I think it was over his head, even if he would have gone back on the ball. But this ball jumps off the bat of Duvall. See, he comes in here and then has to go back. No, he can play all 3 outfield positions. But a lot of times playing in center field or right field, you know, ball comes off the bat a different angle, but that one's that tough one right at you over your head. And you're playing it off to the side, you can see the height of it.
The ball to Tucker Barnhart. Martinez has struck out 5. He's walked 3. Allowed 1 base hit. The Reds have stranded 4 today.
Both hits he's allowed have both been doubles.
Three and 0. And that's ball 4. So 4 walks now by Carlos. We have 7, 8, and 9 now here in this lineup, and let's see if Martinez can't pitch out of trouble again. Cardinals will be at Wrigley Field tomorrow. Frigid Wrigley. The first of 3 against the Cubs as Adam Wainwright gets that start. We'll have it for you here on Fox Sports Midwest. There's a broken bat, could be 2, and a double play. Gets the ground ball and the double play, the first turn by the Cardinals this afternoon.
It can often happen when you shatter a bat like he did, that you can turn a double play on it. But saws him off. He doesn't get out of the box quickly. Nice little shovel pass to Wong. Turn over there. He's going to have to strand another runner at third.
8th place hitter, pitcher on deck. Here's Phillip Ervin. Good pitch. Ervin struck out swinging back in the 2nd inning. Same pitch, strike 2.
Don't get careless here. Way ahead in the count.
The 0-2. Fastball struck him out. 97 on the gun. He's pitched out of trouble all day. 6 strikeouts for Martinez. Adam Wainwright will go tomorrow for the Cardinals. They have pushed back their starter, Tyler Chatwood, for tomorrow night. So Chatwood, with the inclement weather in Chicago, gets pushed back. Our understanding, he'll go tomorrow, and Adam Wainwright will get the call for St. Louis. Adam, very good numbers against Chicago. 14 career wins against the Cubs. And 10 career wins at Wrigley Field. It's 3rd all time in Cardinals history, behind Bob Gibson and Harry Burkeen. There's a ball upstairs.
A better place for him to get his first win this year.
Coming off a very efficient 7 innings against Milwaukee in the day game.
So we should miss Hugh Darvish.
And a ball, 2-0.
Just hope we get those games in.
Garcia saw his average jump from 214 to 333. 3 hits yesterday. Pops it up. And Scooter Gennett, the second baseman, wants it, puts it away for the out. In steps Harrison Bader, if you just joined us. 2-run homer with 2 outs back in the 2nd to account for all the scoring thus far today. It's 8 in a row, by the way, set down by Homer Bailey. And ball 1. Bader is starting in left field today. On the bench, all right-handed bench, Francisco Pena, Marcelo Zuna, Jairo Munoz, and Paul DeYoung.
This is the best we've seen Bailey pitch in quite a while.
He's had so many injuries.
Yeah, he's multiple no-hitters, $100 million contract, but tough to keep him in the lineup or healthy since that signing.
Two and one. You get a no-hitter in 2012, again in 13. Justin Verlander can lay claim to that among active pitchers. Max Scherzer, Jake Arrieta. One was against Pittsburgh, and then he had one here at home. The San Francisco Giants. Todd Frazier with the throw, Bailey the no-no. The walk to Bader brings in Colton Wong. Bailey, one of 3 Reds pitchers with more than 1 no-hitter. Jim Maloney and then Johnny Vandermeer, who had consecutive no-nos.
Every time a guy throws a no-no, you hear Johnny Vandermeer's name because can he duplicate what the former Red did? Back-to-back no-hitters.
That's his first walk, and here's Wong, who flied to right.
Colton was batting .500 against Bailey, 6 for 12.
Runner goes, that's Bader, and he is out. As is the case with any close play, Cardinals get on the horn with their replay department, video department. And he's out.
Yeah, he's out. Tucker Barnhart picked up his Gold Glove yesterday, and he was outstanding at throwing out base runners. And I'm sure they recognize that he's out also.
Barnhart a year ago led all catchers in caught stealing.
On one of the interesting, he led all catchers in blocked balls, 661.
The other night we noted how it was late in the game. It's 12-4. He's blocking balls. Young hard throwers coming in. They have no idea where it's going. I mean, it was a tough night on him. Thought I heard enough of this at Busch Stadium last week.
That seemed like it was one voice. This is multiple for whatever reason.
Popped up, shallow left. Duvall makes the catch. Midway through 5, Cardinals on top.
On the video board here, they said on this date in baseball history, the Astros, after 23 scoreless innings, scored an unearned run to beat the Mets 1-0 in the 24th inning.
23.
24.
24.
But 23 scoreless, and then they scored an unearned run to win in 24, 1-0.
Well, I didn't think of that date for the importance of that game. However,
yeah,
it'd been a long day at the ballpark.
I bet that game was over quicker than some of our 9-inning games today.
Might be. One ball and 2 strikes. Homer Bailey. And he did go. That's 7 today for Carlos Martinez. May 5th, make your furry friend happy by taking home a special Cardinals treat jar for your pet. It's courtesy of Purina. The pet treat jars are available upon gate entry. 30,000 pet lovers, 16 and older. The Cubs will be in town. Cardinals.com/promotions. Pulled foul by Billy Hamilton. He's 0 for 2. Martinez with 2 hits in this game allowed. Double to Peraza and a double by Duvall.
Down.
Left side, Carpenter and Garcia giving chase. Out of play. The 2-2. Fastball just missed. Hamilton puts it on the ground, but foul. Struck him out. Held on to by Yadier Molina. 3 strikeouts in a row, and the total is up to 8.
Got real good breaking stuff tonight. His pitch count is getting up there a little bit. 79 pitches, still in the 5th inning.
There's strike 1. It's a byproduct, though, of the 8 strikeouts to go along with 4 walks.
Sure.
Pitch count will get up there. Only 2 hits. And the 0-2 pitch inside. Martinez has hit a man in every start this far this year. Not today. Strikes out the side. Number 9 today for Carlos Martinez. And Luke Weaver against Kyle Hendricks. All 3 games on Fox Sports Midwest. Note the start time for tomorrow, earlier start time than normal. And then Waka 6:30 Wednesday day game. And the Cardinals return home to Busch Stadium.
Thursday off day, and then Cincinnati comes in town.
Carlos Martinez 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Bailey has struck out 3. Both teams with just 2 hits. Bader, the 2-run homer. There's strike 1.
You ever worried the way he swings so hard?
I worry anytime I see a pitcher do it that way. Used to worry a lot about Lance Lynn. We had oblique issues. Adam Wainwright. They're paid to pitch, not hit. So I'm assuming that you do. Cardinals Insider coming up after our post-game show. Dexter Fowler. See a profile on Tyler O'Neill. Host Ozzie Smith after the game. Fowler is 0 for 2. Fly to left and also grounded out to third. Breaking ball and a beauty. Took a foul ball off his foot previous at bat. Oh, and 2. One ball and 2 strikes. It was last year we saw Bailey make a start against the Cardinals. He was beat up. Velocity was way down. He's had Tommy John. He's had multiple elbow issues after that. Had a shoulder issue.
Made 2 starts against the Cardinals last year. He lost both of them and had an ERA over 17. Substantiate your getting beat up.
The 2-2. A strikeout of Fowler. 4 today for Homer Bailey. Take a look at the Chevy Fox Tracks.
High off speed pitch.
Tommy Pham is lined out to third, lined to center.
Get a bleeder here and get a base hit.
This crowd starting to go wild here at the Great American Ballpark.
Ric Flair's
Oh yeah.
fans are all over this place.
Did you ever meet the Nature Boy?
We did. I think he was in St. Louis at one time, right?
Oh, he came through a bunch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, went wrestling, but it was something at the ballpark.
Oh yeah, Jim Hayes had him
Yeah.
on a pregame.
That's right.
Did you know Randy Macho Man Savage was a Cardinal minor leaguer?
Yes.
So I'm assuming you maybe ran across him at some point?
Did not. You know, I asked Lee Thomas, the one that released him. I said, how'd that go? That was before he had a little help.
Cardinals go in order. Bailey is settled in. 2-0.
Greg Holland pitched a scoreless inning yesterday. Felt like he took a step forward in his quest to find his control. He told me, my command was much better. You keep falling behind, you have no chance. So that was positive. He told me, when you come to a new team, you want to be out there. My mentality is I always want to be out there, but sometimes it's just not best for the team. Danny says it's been frustrating for him, but he says his teammates and the coaching staff have been so supportive that it's made it easier on him.
Ground ball off the bat of Votto. Jimmy, while we have you, with all the woos going on here at the ballpark, do you recall the time that you had the chance to visit with the Nature Boy?
Well, yes, I do, Dan. It's one of those guests that you always remember because in terms of wrestling, he's such an icon. And I did at the end of the interview, right there in the Cardinal dugout, ask for that cardiac chop.
Yeah.
And he gave it to me, Dan. And I got to be honest, it stung.
I bet.
Yeah, it hurts.
Was he nice to you?
Oh, he was great. He was great. Supposedly, he's a very nice guy, but he was nice in the interview, but he did not hold back at all on the chop.
All right, Jimmy.
Did you retaliate?
Wish he would have went a little further with Jimmy.
No, I was too scared to retaliate. Al, no offense. That guy really scares me. We know you're a softie. You don't.
How about that, Al?
Another shot.
No, not a shot.
Oh.
You're a wonderful guy. He has an edge.
I'd take it as a shot if I were you, Al.
All right.
But that's just me.
It's already duly noted.
I guess I'm not going to the booth now.
No, stay away. Here's a 2-1 pitch.
No more walks, Carlos.
3-2 the count on Scooter Gennett. 0 for 2 today. Martinez has struck out 9. And he has walked 4. 2 hits allowed. 3-2 pitch. Struck him out. That's number 10. Went with the 3-2 slider, and he froze him.
Talking about that breaking pitch is really a great movement with it.
His career high in strikeouts was in 2016. He had 13 against Milwaukee. There's Adam Duvall. He skies one into right field. And Tommy Pham with the catch. An 8-pitch inning for Martinez. We head to the 7th. 2-0 Cardinals. Homer Bailey has gotten locked in, has not allowed a base hit since back in the 2nd. One of those, though, a 2-run homer. Harrison Bader. Carlos Martinez has struck out 10, and it's the 10th time that he's had a double-digit strikeout game in his career.
Bailey had 70 pitches. I think Carlos is at 90, right around that area.
Tanner Hickert enjoying the ball game today. He turns 8. Happy birthday to Tanner, watching on Fox Sports Midwest.
Yeah, and happy 18th birthday to Faith Morcille.
The 0-1 pitch to Carpenter. Puts it in play, slowly hit to first. Loved by Votto, and he steps on the bag. Matt is 0 for 3. Jose Martinez 0 for 2. So the 2 hits allowed by Bailey. A base hit to center by Molina. 2-run homer hit by Bader. And Bailey has walked 1 and struck out 4. Martinez has struck out and grounded out.
Oh! So he allowed that 1 walk in his last 14 batters. Was that Jose yelling?
Yes, sir.
That ball bites you on a cold day, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Talked to our buddy Chip Carey, who had the call yesterday for the Cubs and Braves. Braves coughed it up late in that game, but he said it was nearly 30-mile-an-hour winds coming in off the lake straight into the ballpark. The wind chill was around 20. That's it out of play. Just a crazy finish. A couple of wild pitches and air. A lot of walks. The Braves would throw it around. Yep. Wow. Unbelievable.
Scored 9, right?
Brian Snitker after the game, Joe Madden, even after winning, said it was the worst conditions they'd ever seen for a Major League Baseball game. Both agreed that the game should not have been played. And we will have frigid conditions tomorrow. Not sure they'll be that bad, but we'll see. You never know at Wrigley. We understand at 36 degrees at game time is the forecast.
Dan, you stay warm because I'm going to be really cold in the studio.
Appreciate that, Al.
Now that green room gets really cold.
Oh, I can imagine.
Protecting all those computers.
Gonna rub it in, huh? Be nice and warm in the studio. 2-2 pitch to Martinez. This is the deepest a Red starter has gone this year, pitching into the 7th. A 3-2 pitch. Martinez gives it a ride into right center. Hamilton, great attempt, couldn't come up with it, and Jose Martinez is at the bag at second. What a diving attempt there by Billy Hamilton, who's come up with some highlight reel catches over the years. Sparse crowd applauding his effort.
A lot of people think of Billy Hamilton, you think about stolen bases, but he really is a good outfielder. And he comes very close. He's plays shallow because he's so fast. He can go back on balls, and You can see he's upset that he didn't make that play. It would have been a real highlight reel. And we're not disappointed that he didn't. The league's leading hitter gets his first hit today, 1 for 3.
So 1 out double. Here's Yadier Molina, 1 for 2. Base hit to center. Cardinals with a 2-0 lead. Bailey was saying something to Martinez. There was a pitch that he hit out of play that Jose was vocal about, and I wonder if that ticked off Homer Bailey. Maybe.
So that'd be my assumption, but it didn't look like it fazed Jose.
A ball and a strike on Yadier Molina. Good pitch. 1-2. You see that sometimes. I remember a lot with Chris Carpenter on the mound. If somebody would pop up, yell at themselves, and Carpenter would be the first one to yell right back, even though that hitter was upset with himself. Pitchers don't like that.
That's like Bob Gibson hit Pete Lecoq 3 times in one game. Hit him the first time because he just didn't like him. Hit him the next 2 times because he said, "Why me?"
Driven out to center. Hamilton was spun around over his head and to the wall. Martinez will score. Molina on his way to second and out. 3-0 Cardinals. RBI single by Yadier Molina. And the outfield assist for Billy Hamilton.
We talked about good outfielder right off the end of the bat, and that may have fooled him a little bit, but he plays shallow, goes back so well, but that time it looked like he got turned around a little bit. But he's got a strong arm, and it showed up right here as he gets that ball right in, tagged out. Now there was only 1 out for that, but I think that Martinez's run wouldn't have counted if that would have been the 3rd out.
The pitch taken high by Greg Garcia. He scored a run on the 2-run homer by Bader back in the 2nd inning. But sometimes hitters will get vocal if they get a pitch to hit and they don't do anything with it. And again, pitchers just don't like that. Maybe that was the case there with Bailey and Jose Martinez. Here's a 1-1. Here's the pitch we're referring to Jose.
Yeah, I think you're right. He thought he should have crushed that ball, didn't. And then Peter Bailey saying, "You aren't that good." Of course, Martinez can say, "Well, go look at the standings and then also look at who's leading the National League in hitting."
And there's a walk with 2 outs. Inning started with a ground out, then the double to right center by Martinez. Molina the RBI single, and Greg Garcia the walk.
Garrett up there. Jenkins out to talk to his pitcher, settling down. Even a veteran guy that pitching a good ball game, you let it kind of get away from you.
can understand, though, where Brian Price would say, okay, here's my veteran. Here's a guy that's been with us for nearly 12 seasons. We're not winning. Our bullpen has been getting lit up. This is our best chance. Stay with him.
A lot of young pitchers today, and as we said, Bailey's 31 and he's their veteran. They're looking the dugout like, okay, come get me, I'm through. And that's not a good sign either.
There's Bader, a 2-run homer and a walk. Was caught stealing back in the 5th.
There was some talk in yesterday's ball game. Finnegan, with Brian Price, they weren't sure he was originally going to take him out. And when he went to the mound, here's the pitcher handing him the ball. Well, yeah, you kind of got to do it. You got to take him out because he hadn't want to pitch anymore.
Popped up to the right side. Irvin near the line and makes the catch. The Reds public address announcer Joe Zerhusen has the introduction of today's God Bless America during the 7th inning stretch.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please stand, kindly remove your hats and face the American flag. Major League Baseball, the Reds and the Cardinals salute the men and women of our armed forces, as well as those who serve to protect in our local police and fire departments. At this time, please help us honor these brave men and women and all our veterans of service, and welcome Bobby Blanton as he leads us in the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Here today, 10 strikeouts, 4 walks, and only 2 hits allowed.
Really done a nice job of pitching on the corner, staying out of the middle of the plate. Barnhart has walked twice against him. He's leading off here.
Pitch number 93. Hit out of play. Last time the Cardinals had starters record 4 straight wins, the same road trip, was back in 2015. They had 5 straight wins from their starters. It was Walker and Lynn, Jaime Garcia, John Lackey, and this man on the mound, Carlos Martinez. Back to Carlos, underhands, and the out.
And it's nice to see when you get that, and then they get that friendly competition among the starters where they try to outdo each other, but all with the intent that you're helping the team out. Probably his last inning of work, the way they, somewhere around that 100, 110.
And a strike. Blandino 0 for 2. Lifts it in the air out to center. Pham back with room and makes the catch for out number 2. Bring the kids to the ball game on Sunday, April 22nd. That day, all kids 15 and under entering with a ticket receive a Yadier Molina jersey, just like the one he wore during Players Weekend, courtesy of Powerade and Shop and Save. And kids also get a free ticket voucher for a future game. It's compliments of Ritz. There's an ice cream sundae as well. It's all coming up on April 22nd.
Nice little text message from one of your former fantasy camp teammates, Jack Pratt. Remember Jack and Nikki Pratt?
Oh, yeah.
Jack said at age 75, he's about ready to come back for another go at the fantasy camp.
There's the 0-2, and Carlos thought he had strikeout number 11.
Miles an hour on your 101st pitch. He's still got a lot in the tank.
The 2-2. Matt Bowman throwing in the Cardinals pen. Cardinals trying to get through 7 innings with Martinez here. His spot is due up second. Blandino a top pick, Phillip Ervin a top pick. We've seen some of the guys that they talk about being the future coming out of their bullpen. They have struggled in this series. There's no doubt.
Now he's got his hit batter in each and every start this year.
We'll see a pinch hitter. That'll be it for Homer Bailey. Mike Matheny on the phone. Mike Maddox out to visit. Cardinals will be down to 4 mound visits. Phil Gosselin will be the pinch hitter. Back by popular demand, Grateful Dead night at Busch Stadium. That's the 20th of this month, Friday, April 20th. Purchase of a special theme ticket, you'll receive an exclusive Grateful Dead inspired Cardinals t-shirt. Grateful Dead night tickets on sale now, cardinals.com/theme. See the average pitches per start so far in the 3 previous assignments for Carlos Martinez. Gosselin looks at a strike. So that's 5 straight games going back to last year that Martinez has hit a batter in one of his starts. The 0-1 pitch. Nasty.
Gosselin a year ago playing with the Diamondbacks was an excellent pinch hitter. Led all major league pinch hitters in hits with 20. With the pitch count at 107, have to believe this is probably his last batter, so retiring.
Switch hitting Billy Hamilton hitting 091 from the right side, 194 from the left. He's on deck. 0-2, and that strikeout number 11. What a day for Carlos Martinez. 2.5 hour rain delay, no problem. He strikes out 11. 3-0 Cardinals. Carlos Martinez outstanding here today. His afternoon is through. 11 strikeouts and only 2 hits allowed through 7. Homer Bailey went 7 innings. 4 hits, 3 runs, all earned. Struck out 4, walked 2, gave up the home run to Harrison Bader. And this is our Chevy call to the pen, Amir Garrett, the lefty.
Made his major league debut against St. Louis, and it looks like Chapman. And in that game, he pretty much threw like Chapman. He was very impressive.
I came away thinking they got something with this
guy.
guy.
And then now they put him in the bullpen.
There's a 1-0. Jairo Munoz at the on-deck circle. And then Dexter Fowler. Crowd today, 15,557. 15557. How did Barnhart catch that?
Luckily.
Stuck the glove out, huh?
Yeah.
Pretty good play. Carlos Martinez extended his scoreless streak to 12 innings. It's the highest thus far for a Cardinals pitcher. He had a 4-hit shutout. You may remember last year. It was in June against the Phillies. He struck out 11 in that game. Today, the most he has struck out since then. Matching that 11 is Wong grounds out to short. Here's Jairo Munoz. Cardinals heading to Chicago could have a different look to the team, as Jed Jerko was very close to returning, as well as Luke Gregerson to make his season debut. We'll see once we get to Wrigley Field. Munoz 1 for 5, picked up his first ever extra base hit.
And Jerko's been in Florida, right?
Down in Florida, so
getting close.
Yep. Munoz 1 for 5 in the series, grounds up the middle. Jeanette makes the play. Two outs, and the top of the lineup, Dexter Fowler. Strike 1.
Fowler will come in. He'll face Hamilton, turn him around or to his weak side, the right side.
I thought they may go in that direction. Here's an 0-2 pitch to Fowler, who is 0 for 3. And he struck him out. So Garrett enjoys a 1-2-3 top of the 8th. Top of the lineup coming up for the Reds. Chevy called to the pen, and Tyler Lyons, 9th appearance, no record, 5 2/3. Surprising the lefties have hit .357 against him, but he'll get Billy Hamilton here, the switch hitter, to turn him around, batting .091 from this side of the plate.
Well, he hasn't been right yet. You know, he got roughed up in that one game in Milwaukee, but you know, he's got that very, very nasty breaking ball, but he just couldn't get it away from the lefties. Left it right down and in and got hurt by it.
That is drilled out to deep left field. Billy Hamilton goes deep. Certainly didn't see that coming.
Now his first home run of the year. He had 4 home runs a year ago, and talk about getting ahead in the count. Well, they just counted 1 run for them.
Career hit number 500 for Billy Hamilton, and it's a solo home run. The batter is Peraza. Dominic Leone starts to throw in the Cardinals pen.
After Peraza, you got the two left-handers, Votto and Jeanette. He's getting ready for Duvall.
And a ground ball to Colton. Throw up the line. And the tying run. And Joey Votto will come to the plate.
It's a little too casual with the throw. Colton gets himself in trouble at times when he just makes the great play, but sometimes he just the routine play. Here he nice catches it, and then he gets sidearm with it. Watch the throw. When you throw from there, the ball will sail on you instead of getting over the top.
Well, Joey Votto has very good numbers in this lefty-lefty matchup.
That's why Mike Maddox is out there just to calm down Lions. Get together with Yachty, throw the right pitch.
Three mound visits remain for the Cardinals, and in a game in which they were sailing along, all of a sudden gets real interesting.
A little too interesting.
Couple of home runs for Votto against Lions. He's 0 for 2 today with a walk. His next walk would be his 1,000th of his career. And strike one.
Lefty-lefty matchup, but you've got an exceptional hitter here, and if you make a good pitch, you got a chance to get him out. If you make a bad pitch, he's got a real good chance to hurt you.
The 0-1. Laced down the left field line, foul. Left-handed batters this year, a .357 average against Tyler Lyons.
Tyler's only throwing about 89 miles an hour. And if he doesn't get his breaking ball, away from these hitters, leaving it down and in, he's really in trouble. But when he has that breaking ball going and can locate on the outer half to a lefty, it's almost unhittable.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Out of play. Good pitch in on his hands.
The hanger just tied him up a little bit, but
got in just enough.
Yeah, just enough. It was just bad enough.
One, two, double play ball. 4, 6, 3 on the double play.
Boy, is that nice. Woo.
Big. Second double play turned by the Cardinals.
Colton Wong, a little vindicated with a fastball and down and in, and he just, I don't see him too often put a ball there and turn it into a double play.
Scooter Gennett 0 for 3 in ball 1. A ball and a strike. Red second baseman 0 for 8 if you're wondering, against Lyons in his career. The 1-1, 1-2.
First breaking ball he's seen in this sequence. The slider.
And a ground ball to Wong. Makes the play. The home run by Hamilton. The Reds get on the board as we head to the ninth. It'll be Tommy Pham, Matt Carpenter, and Jose Martinez for the Cardinals. Second inning of work for Amir Garrett. First pitch is taken for a ball. And we're underway here in the ninth. Pham lined out to third, lined to center, and grounded out to short.
He was surprised on that pitch. Thought it was low.
And the 1-1. And there's a base hit into right field for Pham. Hit the ball hard all 4 times.
The second baseman playing up the middle, so he shoots this one through on the right side. And you're right about how hard he's hit the ball today.
His 9 steals Tommy Pham does the last 2 years against Cincinnati. That's the most of any player against the Reds.
Stole a couple bases in yesterday's game.
He's reached base now safely in 14 straight against the Reds.
One thing Tommy did this offseason was wanted to work on his speed, not only for stealing bases, but also help him for those jumps in the outfield.
He is running, swing and a miss, and now Pham caught in a rundown. Tagged out.
He didn't have a good jump.
Caught stealing 2-6. So 1 out. Shift applied here for Carpenter. Ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Cardinals, at least in the last week or so, lost a lot of base runners trying to extend hits. Earlier in this game, Molina trying to go to second. Pham caught stealing.
Oh, we've talked about it in spring training the last several years. You know how aggressive they have been. It's one of the few times they carried it into the season, but Tommy's also going to have to realize too that now they know he's going to steal.
Strikeout of Carpenter. There's 2 away. And with 2 outs, the batter will be Jose Martinez. Doubled and scored back in the 7th. For Garrett, that is his 2nd strikeout.
They're going to bring in a reliever to face Jose. Good work by Garrett.
Come on, hustle in.
Garrett Hughes.
Get here. Hughes to face Jose Martinez. 1 for 3 on the day. A lot of years in the NL Central for Jared Hughes.
That's right. About 5 years with Pittsburgh, and then last year was with Milwaukee. Got released by the Pirates at the end of spring training. Kind of shocking.
Came up in 11 with Pittsburgh. Last year, 67 appearances with the Brewers. 3-0. Bud Norris. If the score holds, we'll have a chance at a save opportunity. .30 pitch. Martinez swinging away and skies one to Irvin in right. He makes the catch. Hughes gets the out. Norris coming in when we come back. This series struck out the side the other day, and 2 saves so far this year.
It's been perfect on the road so far. 4 games, 4 scoreless innings.
Cardinals with some changes. Paul DeYoung is in at shortstop, and Greg Garcia will shift over to third. Adam Duvall will lead it off. You know, you look in this series, and yeah, the Reds pitching hasn't been great. The hitting overall hasn't been great, but when you take a look at what they've done with Votto, he has 1 hit and a walk in the series, and you shut him down, you may be shutting down the Reds of 2018.
Schebler, Suarez are on the disabled list. Duvall's not swinging the bat well. Votto, you know, you look at their lineup now, you can see where your outs are if you got in a little jam.
No doubt. There's strike 1. Last 4-game sweep of the Reds in Cincinnati, 1949. There's a doubleheader included in there. Here's the 0-1. Ripped out to left center field. Did he get enough? He did. It's now 3-2.
Saying hang and break a ball. And out there hits in the left center. First row, but it's a home run. That just makes it a little closer. Rod get the next 3.
Cardinals not going with Greg Holland here today, at least for the moment. Holland did pitch yesterday, really trying to ease him back into that closer's role.
Yeah, they're talking about, you know, trying not to right now pitch him back-to-back days. So they knew Norris was going to have this one opportunity.
The strike on Tucker Barnhart. 1 ball, 1 strike. He has walked twice and grounded out. Think about the series against Arizona. The Cardinals caught Goldschmidt at the right time. He caught fire after leaving St. Louis. Bunt is down. Garcia can't make the play. Martinez may be hurt, and the ball, they're going to say he's going to get second base, I believe. That hit a stick inside the camera well. That's what the Reds are pointing to, but right now of greater concern, Jose Martinez.
Yeah, a lot of times that first baseman puts his arm out there trying to catch the ball and get the runner going by at the same time, and guys really get hurt there with their hands. Down a bunt right here. Smart play. The throw goes right in there as they get tangled up. You're reaching out there, and then you kind of runs into the glove hand.
Right now, Brian Price is pleading his case that the ball would have gone in the camera well, and actually it did. There was a yellow stick that's there. It hit that and then bounced back out, and that pole or stick is inside the camera well, and he's claiming that the Reds should be able to have a man in scoring position.
Watch the glove hand gets tangled up with a shoulder.
You can see it there in the tail end of the replay, that yellow, and I'm sure that's what they're going to take a look at. I was able to pick that up right away. Our vantage point shows inside their dugout, and Tucker Barnhart should be at second base.
Good sign that Martinez stays in the game. I think it was. You're sure you saw that, right, Danny?
Oh, yeah,
so
it hit off that yellow stick that's
so
inside the camera well. He should be at second base.
But have we seen a video that shows that?
It does.
It does?
Yep.
I was watching Martinez.
Watch at the tail end here. There you can see it between the two poles here, and it hits that, so it should be.
Yeah, from our vantage point, we can see that.
And that's about a foot maybe behind the green poles that stick out. That would be, if it hit those and came back in play, he'd be at first base. Jesse Winker, by the way, has come in to pinch run. And I can understand from Mike's vantage point and where he's watching. And he may be saying, well, that pole is sticking out, but it actually was back. It was back half foot, maybe a foot in the camera well. Now it's been knocked down. And so he gets a quick explanation, or maybe just get some steam out. But I do think that's the right call.
It just makes it a little tougher. That's what you're talking about.
Yep. Minute 50 seconds on the review. Barnhart reaches, and now Winker at second base. And here is Blandino. The corners are in. Let's just hope that Jose Martinez is all right. Stays in the game at first. Blandino showing bunt. Did offer at it, and it's a strike.
And we've seen Norris at times get his fair share of strikeouts.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. And strike 2. It's interesting at this point in the game, if you're at home, especially with a runner at second base, do you bunt here, or do you say, well, we can take 3 cracks at it, swinging away with pretty good speed at second base?
Brian Price is sitting here with his 7, 8, 9 down there. He's got Pennington. Mesoraco's been swinging the bat real well. Could hit for the pitcher spot.
Here's the 0-2. Taken high. On the Barnhart bunt, ruled a base hit, then an error on Garcia, following the home run hit by Duvall.
Winker's been out of the lineup a couple days because of his shoulder.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Ball back. Cardinals trying to send the Reds to their 8th consecutive loss. St. Louis, if they can win, would go to 2 games above 500. The 1-2. Got him. Big strikeout for Norris. Good slider.
Well, that's a good thing about Norris. He's been in every situation. So gives up a home run, then the bunt base hit. But now he realizes that he could get a strikeout there. And you can't strike somebody out until they get 2 of them. And then you think about it. But right now you're thinking of the pop-up, get 2 strikes. You're thinking of the strikeout.
Mesoraco on deck. Here's Phillip Ervin. With Winker, your runner at second base. Strike 1. Some of these pitches have been up from Bud Norris.
That's why, you know, I mean, I've always remembered Bud Norris, and there were times when he absolutely dominated the Cardinals as a starter with Houston. He pitched up. That's part of his success. His ball must have a little movement and high hop on it.
0-1. 0-2.
Now he can go for that punch out.
See if you can't get him to get over anxious. Maybe chase that slider.
Slider or go up the ladder. You know, go try and get him to chase the ball up.
Outside corner. Struck him out. And back-to-back Ks for Norris. Urban never swung the bat.
Yeah, a lot of times you get in this situation now, you may not think you're going to strike out the side, but I'm sure Norris is thinking right now that they have no chance that they're going to score.
The final 0 for the Reds, Devin Mesoraco.
He's had a lot of injuries the last several years, but this is the best we've seen him swing the bat.
Winker, the runner at second base. Wong trying to keep him close. Room to the right side of the infield. And a pitch taken high.
Could have been called.
Norris was thinking the same thing as he looked back in and asked if that pitch was up. He struck out the side to pick up his second save the other night. And he is 1 out away from his 3rd save as a Cardinal. 2 balls and no strikes. Billy Hamilton on deck. His Hyundai pitch arsenal today. The 2-0. 2-1. Hit by the pitch. Mesoraco throwing his bat. He almost hit Billy Hamilton at the on-deck circle. Cardinals are claiming that it hit the bat.
You could hear the sound, and sometimes knob sounds different than flesh.
And this is reviewable, by the way. And this will be reviewed. May have got the knob and the hand. Let's listen in to the previous pitch.
Got your fingers kind of overlaying or close to the end of that knob. You hit on the knob and you're still the vibration if they can get pinched.
I'll say this, he did a good job to sell it.
Such a good job that I don't know if you could fake it that much. You know, that it,
and he is indeed awarded first base.
right in there. And
minute 16 with the replay. Mesoraco shaking the left hand, and now Billy Hamilton got the Reds on the board with a home run from the other side of the plate back in the 8th. Runners at first and second. And there's a ball.
struck out twice. He was 0 for 3 before hitting that home run to lead off the 8th.
One ball, one strike. Always hitting lanes with Billy Hamilton because of the fact that you have to play in with his speed. Left side of the infield, Garcia near the bag. And then you have DeYoung trying to keep the runner fairly close at second base. That's the tying run, so he could easily slap one to left. The 1-1. And the Reds down to their final strike.
Taking a lot of these pitches, aren't they?
The 1-2. Fouled back by Hamilton.
A good rip at it.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Slap the other way. Bader is there. The Cardinals have a 4-game sweep in Cincinnati. 3-2 the final.
And way to go, Bud Norris. Got a little scare right there with the home run to make it a 1-run game. Then he gets a runner at second, nobody out, but does a great job. Cardinals had just enough offense.
Good jump on that play too by Bader in left. He had the home run early on, a 2-run shot. Our Budweiser play of the game. Harrison Bader, the home run opposite way, his first of the year, and that is your Budweiser play of the game. So how about that? The Cardinals 4 straight in Cincinnati. St. Louis now 9-7, and it's off to Chicago. The Cubs and Cardinals tomorrow. Post-game show is next.